Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder when I drop my kid off at school and deliver an episode to you while I walk home. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good morning, listeners. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning here in suburban Chicago. September 18th is the date, and all is well. So walking home from dropping my son off today, I thought I would talk a little bit about where my acquisition disorder is, what kinds of games I'm looking at, which ones I'm keeping an eye on, and which ones I've decided not to get. Well, since the effort, particularly the beginning of the summer, to be a bit more picky about games I acquire, I have been trimming my want lists a bit so that I don't pick up as many games and I'm a little more careful. That said, my want list includes Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, which I believe I have enough Amazon points to get it now, but it's on back order. So I'm waiting for it to actually be available because I want it to be both available and have the points for it, and then I'll get it. Glass Road, the Uwe Rosenberg classic. The Rise of Queensdale. To be honest, this one's slipping a little in my interest, except that the price is pretty nice, and I think it would be a good chance to do a legacy game, just me and my wife. So that's still there for now. Innovation, Echoes of the Past, which is one of the Innovation expansions. Really, it doesn't matter to me which Innovation expansion we get, but I do want to get some more of that. Roll for the Galaxy Rivalry. I like Roll for the Galaxy a lot, and having the new things for it would be fun. Nautilion would be the next of the Oniverse games that I want to get. And then 3 expansions. The Bloody Inn, the Carnies. I liked the Bloody Inn enough that I think I would like to have the Carnies expansion if I find it. Bunny Kingdom in the Sky. Bunny Kingdom was one of the games last year that I really enjoyed. I didn't get to play it as much as I would like, but I think it has legs. And so I would like to see it get a little bit more play, and I think the In the Sky expansion would help me get it back out. And then A Feast for Odin, the Norwegians. This one is the last one on my current top want list, and I'm a little divided about it. I really like A Feast for Odin, but I've only played it a couple times because it takes so long. But I hear the Norwegians expansion is just excellent. Every review I've heard of it says, excellent, won't ever play the game again without it, and so on. So I think that one did make the list. And then finally, the Jaws board game, which I've heard enough good reviews about to think I definitely need to get it. And I'm a huge Jaws fan, so that's that. The last game that I'm thinking about, and I guess it's probably still in my games of interest rather than my top want list, but it's very close, is Sidereal Confluence. This is a trading and negotiation game. It sounds like the peak of trading and negotiation games, which that genre isn't my favorite, but I have a feeling a game that's all about that would really suit me. It also seems really weird, which would be fun, and I don't know anyone else who has it, which is more and more a big part of my interest in particular games, is if no one else has it, I'm more inclined to want to get it because I know it'll hold a unique spot in the universe of people I play with, and I'll be able to play it more. So I thought what I would talk about today is a few games I've examined and decided I'm not as interested in them as I was before. And then I'll update you on my games of interest list as well. So just a kind of general update on the kinds of things I'm keen on. So 3 games have moved from my games of interest list to off my list entirely. Games I'm no longer interested in. It doesn't mean I wouldn't play them if someone had them, but I'm not actively pursuing them. And those are Abomination. Actually, I guess 4 games. 3, sorry. And those are Abomination, Quirky Circuits, and Doctor Strange and Mr. Norrell. Abomination, mostly because I heard there's a fair amount of take that in it. There's a lot of stuff you can do to mess with the other players. And I loved the theme of this game. I don't even mind the sort of gross bits of like collecting body parts, and if you get ones from the morgue, they're not as fresh as if you get them from the dark alley, and all that sort of thing is really fun. But then I hear that you can steal other people's stuff, and I don't like worker placement games or sort of Euro-themed games where you're doing too much messing with somebody's stuff. So I think that one becomes a pass for me. Quirky Circuits is one I was pretty interested in. I like the designer, Nikki Valens, but most of what I read makes it sound like it's awfully Robo Rally-like. And I have Robo Rally, and I'm not interested in having more Robo Rally. So that one moved into the no column for me. And then Doctor Strange and Mr. Norrell, frankly, it's a cool theme, and I'm really excited by the idea that they made the game. But then Murado talked about being very disappointed in the rulebook and not really seeing anything that excited him about it. And I haven't heard one person review it. So those two things make me say, I guess not. There's one more game that is on the border. I guess it's on the border of no. And that is Obsession. Obsession is a board game that, when it's described as Downton Abbey, the board game. And I like that idea. And everybody who's talked about it talks about it being really intriguing. Except when I actually go and read reviews of it, they talk about it being a little slow and a little too long. And basically a few other things that make me think it's not a great fit. I know that there's a Kickstarter coming up for the Upstairs Downstairs expansion. I may take another look at it at that point. But right now, Obsession is hovering around a no for me. It's still on my games of interest list. I haven't actually pulled it yet, but it's close. I have 3 other games that I've pulled from my games of interest list or even from my want list, because of reviews I've heard enough make me say, like, I'm going to wait and see if I can play it before I decide to pull the trigger on that. And those are Black Angel, Tapestry, and Pret-a-Porter. Black Angel is the hardest one to put in that category, because I was very excited about it for a long time. I heard lots of great reviews. And then I've heard kind of mixed reception about its theme. Generally pretty good reception about the gameplay, but people are saying the theme is either completely absent or you have to stretch a bit to make it work. One reviewer I was listening to talked about that he likes to have a handle on the theme in order to teach a game, and he was having a lot of trouble making Black Angel work thematically. So those things all together make me think, I'm going to wait and see. It's popular enough, I'm sure it will show up at a game night sometime, and I will get to try it. Another one that I am sort of drifting away from a bit is Pret-a-Porter, or Pret-a-Porter, the new Portal Games edition. Part of me was really tempted to get it just to say, yes, I like the idea that you are keeping it about fashion and not redoing it into a video game development game. I'm pleased that they made that choice, but at the same time, I've had pretty mixed luck with Portal Games games. They're always hard to learn, and I have yet to have one that really hits it out of the park beyond Stronghold. Stronghold would be the one that I've really enjoyed, and that's published by Stronghold, not by Portal. Although I think it's the same edition. Versus Robinson Crusoe. The one time we played it, it took a really long time to learn, and we died really fast, and I haven't gotten it out again. And then there's a couple others that just have been not great. So, Pret-a-Porter is definitely in the wait and see. Also, if Portal Games sort of standard is any standard, I guess Detective, now that I think about it, Detective was a success for me from them. But for the most part, it's middle of the road, so it's not an insta-back or anything. And they also went to Kickstarter with it, which I didn't want to back in on Kickstarter, so I'll wait on that one. And then finally, one that's actually drifting up rather than down into the wait and see category was Tapestry. Now, when I first heard about Tapestry about a month ago, it sounded really exciting, although I didn't know, do I need another Civilization game? I already have a couple I don't play. Do I need another one? Presumably I would get to play it a little more because it's from Jamie Stegmaier, so it looks beautiful. It plays faster, which would be a good sign. And then I watched the Watch It Played video about it, and I watched a little of Rado's run through, and I was just like, this doesn't look like it's for me. So I passed. I did not do the pre-order. So now I really can't get it for several months. Could be longer. And I'll just have to wait and see. So I know a couple people who did get it, so I should have a chance to play it. And I may play it and go like, oh, this game is amazing, and then regret that I didn't get it. But the nice thing about Stegmaier is he does not do exclusives in the pre-orders or whatever. It's really just, were you able to get the game soon, or did you have to wait? And I have plenty of games. I don't have a problem waiting. So Tapestry is on the wait and see on the positive side. So those are the games that have sort of moved around in the no and the wait and see category. I do still have several games in my games of interest list. Generally, games of interest are games that I've heard about and sound interesting. I haven't done much research or had a chance to play them. It's kind of games like, I think I might want that, but I don't know. So I put it on games of interest rather than the top want list is meant to be there to kind of guide me in my buying decisions. Although, obviously, if you look at my games acquired, I also let, spur of the moment drive me a lot of the time. A lot of the top games on my top want list have been sitting there for a year, and in between I've acquired 50 games. And, gotten rid of some, but the top want list is a way to kind of keep myself thinking about what do I really want to spend my money on. Games of interest, though, the top two are games in development at Mind Clash, although both of them are a ways out from being publicly released, and that's Transhumanity and Perseverance. I heard about the Yggdrasil Chronicles, which is a new campaign version of the classic co-op game Yggdrasil, which Jenny and I played in Iceland, and I enjoyed quite a bit. I will be interested to see what this one looks like when it comes out. We have the Shy Pluto and Grizzlies expansions for Space Base and Barren Park, respectively. The Grizzlies ones is pretty much an auto buy, but it's not available yet, so I don't have it in the top want list. But I would have to hear some bad reviews of it to not want it. The Shy Pluto expansion, I've heard good things as well. The main thing that's kept me from picking up anything else about Space Base is that my family doesn't want to play it. And it's silly for me to keep trying to buy or play a game that nobody wants to play. The expansion for Stronghold with the Undead faction sounds really exciting. And even though I've only played Stronghold once or twice, it is a game I'm very excited about and I think fondly of. So the expansion to that one seems like a good bet. And the last two games in my games of interest are things I encountered in various places. One is Atlandice, which is a game that sounded really neat, and I heard about it in time for Origins, I think it was when it came out, but I haven't seen anything else about it. I haven't run into it at a store or done anything else with it, so that one's just in there because I thought it looked neat. And then Black Sonata, which was a solo game about Shakespeare, which looks pretty neat and has a lot of really good buzz. And I've been enjoying solo gaming a bit more this year, so that is a game I've had my eye on as well. But I think you have to order it direct from the publisher, so it's just been something I kind of have been thinking about. It's funny, when I sat down to make this list, I'm like, there's not that many games I'm interested in right now. Turns out there are. Lots of games. I also would be keen to play Dice Settlers at some point and Passing Through Petra. Although, honestly, that last one, I like J. Alex Kevern, the designer, but I have a cousin named Petra, which is spelled like Petra. So I'd be sort of amused to get that just because of the name similarity. And there are a number of other games I thought looked neat and would be interested in trying at one point. But of the games in my current view on the horizon, those are the ones that are most exciting me. So, dear listener, what games have you had your eye on? Are there some games you're keen to buy? Is there something you're saving your pennies for? Is there something you bought instantly? Are you stuck not buying games because you made a vow that you wouldn't acquire any more games this year? And so you're buying D&D stuff instead? Hello, Chris. So let me know what games you're excited about, what games you're interested in. I know Essen is coming up soon. Is there anything getting you particularly jazzed there? I expect we're going to hear about an expansion to Underwater Cities sometime soon, which is very exciting. I like anything Vladimir Suchy does. Or, whatever else is coming out. Do let me know. Pop over to Board Game Geek Guild 3269 and post about this episode to let us know what you think you're most excited about. I look forward to hearing from you. You could also email me, brendan@rattlemoxgames.com, or you could reach out on Twitter. No, don't reach out on Twitter. I never check that, so that would take you forever to get a hold of me. Email or Board Game Geek are the two best ways. Well, that's about it for me today. I hope that you have enjoyed our time together. I know I have. And I hope that your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.